guess how the person is by their level of oxidative stress, okay? After Protandim, then everybody's T-bars goes back down to a younger cellular age level. So for example, Lucas, the baby, or Lindsay behind me. So when you're young, or like my 5-year-old Julia, she's my best example because that girl is always full of energy. When you're young, you get up, and we all know kids, they go, 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 and they never get tired, and they're always up for stuff, and then when it's nighttime, they crash and they sleep, and they're out, and that's it. As we age, our bodies kind of forget how to do that, so you start to get tired and fatigued, and some days are good days, and some days it's not such good days, and then whatever the weak link is in your genetics or your environment, that's going to start to show as oxidative stress goes up. So oxidative stress is known by scientists in the medical community to be linked to 200 plus diseases. If you want to name 200 plus diseases, go for it. I'm a nurse, I cannot come up with 200 off the top of my head. But I'm going to name some that they mentioned in the video because they're the more common ones. So your cardiac diseases, cancers, diabetes, lung diseases in general, and they mentioned asthma in there, and a lot of your mental or brain diseases. So such as depression, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, ADHD, there's a whole bunch of them, okay? So they know that basically the way this is how I like to draw it. Make this be oxidative stress, so that's A. They know that that's linked to a whole bunch of diseases, that's B. Okay, so this is your diseases. And now here comes Protandim. Now, Protandim is made up of 5 herbs. Okay, it's green tea, milk thistle, bacopa, turmeric, and ashwagandha. And those 5 herbs have been around for centuries. And it has been known for a while that each one of those ingredients by themselves does have a certain potential, like they mentioned, a couple of the enzymes in your body to do that, to decrease your oxidative stress. So you can go and take them individually. But the interesting thing that the scientists did not anticipate and found is when they paired up those 5 herbs together, they got an effect that was 18 times more powerful than if you go to the store and you buy them each separately. Okay, so that was the first thing. Because usually you can't patent blueberries, and you can't patent red wine, but they were able to patent Protandim. And it's because of the science that's behind it. The other thing is, you know that Protandim lowers oxidative stress, and get this, by 40 to 70% in 100% of the people who take it. And I cannot think of any medication that anybody can ever make a claim, although this is not a medication, but no, just to give you an example, that works in 100% of the people. But this is known that it works in 100% of the people who take it, and in mammals in general. So unless you're a reptile, it works. So if any of us start taking Protandim after 30 days, 100% of the animals and the people are going to have this decrease in T-bars. Okay? So why is that relevant? Because we know that the diseases are associated with oxidative stress. So if you lower oxidative stress back to when you were a child or a baby, what kind of effect, and that's kind of what he was saying, what kind of effect is that going to have in diseases? And that's kind of where the studies come from. So the first study that was done on Protandim was in 2005, and that's the one they talk about in ABC Primetime Video. They only talk about one thing in the video, which is the fountain of youth. Because back then, when that study was done, all they knew is that increased 2 enzymes in our body, and they call them the SOD and catalase. Okay, so that's all they knew back then. So some universities heard of this, and they are like, oh, you know what, we're going to check this out, because the theory fits. And I'll tell you what theory, why they said the theory fits, because for a while, what have we all been doing but trying to eat healthy, exercise, and take a bunch of vitamins, right? So think of, I don't know if you guys have ever taken, I have, multivitamin, vitamin A, C, E, and you start to name it. The problem with that is the theory that they used to think is if you took an antioxidant, you would lower the oxidative stress, and therefore you could prevent some diseases and be healthier. The problem that they know now is that a direct antioxidant only works on one free radical. And when you have this much in your body, in a healthy body, that's not a very effective way of making an impact. And one analogy that I heard Dr. McCord make in a CD that I have is It's like if you had a house fire, if you throw a Dixie cup of water at the house fire, yeah, it's going to take care of that fire like this much. So Protandim would be your big fire truck with a giant hose, basically, because it works different than a direct antioxidant. A direct antioxidant, such as vitamin A, C, and E, when you take it, goes in your bloodstream, hooks up with one free radical. One molecule of this hooks up with one free radical, and it gets excreted out your kidneys. It comes out of your body. It's flushed out. It's done. Same thing with food, the healthy foods that we eat. For us to have a significant impact, you would have to eat 40 pounds of blueberries or drink 70 glasses of wine, which 70 glasses of wine sounds a good idea except for the effect that you would have to deal with afterwards, which is a bad idea, plus killing your liver in the meantime. So with Protandim, what it does is, just like they showed in the video, it actually goes to your cell membrane and it says, hey, remember what your DNA is programmed to do, that you did so well when you were a child, a teenager, and a baby. Remember what you're supposed to do and do it. So it's an indirect antioxidant. You're not taking something that's supplementing your body. You're taking herbs that, quite frankly, you could put on your salad. It's kind of like, you know, would you ask for permission to eat blueberries? Would you ask for permission to put some of that, drink some green tea, or to put the turmeric, which is that yellow, like saffron rice? Okay, that's kind of what it is. So it's herbs, but they put those together and it basically goes to your cell membrane and it says, hey, remember what you're supposed to do. And now they know, and this is a study that came out in 2011, that what Protandim actually does is activates what's called the NRF2 pathway. Okay, it's like the Nerf gun, NRF2. And what the NRF2 is a set of genes in your DNA, and that's what he mentioned there, called survival genes. Okay? And these survival genes are able to gobble up free radicals at a rate of 1 to 1 million per second, because this is inside your cell. It's not going to get excreted. So this is an indirect antioxidant. And that's why he says, you know, we don't think that any longer you're going to have to take vitamins or direct supplements. They're no longer needed, because this kind of wakes up your body and says, hey, you know how to do this, do it. And when your body is healthier, so thinking of disease, for example, cancer, for example, our bodies can make cancer cells every day. But when you're healthy and you're optimum and not stressed, right, or maybe your genetics help a little bit, your body's able to say, hey, that's a cancer cell, let's get rid of it, out of here. But as you age, whatever your weak link is in your family or environment, that's going to show. So if it's Alzheimer's that you're prone to, or if it's cancer, if it's cardiac disease or whatnot, as your cells get less effective at doing this, that's going to pop up and stay. And that's kind of how Protandim works. Now, the company cannot make a claim that it prevents, treats, or cures any diseases. And the reason why they cannot make that claim is because Protandim is not FDA approved. But it's not FDA approved because it doesn't have to be. So, like I mentioned, would you have to patent or FDA approve blueberries, for example? You don't. However, and this is not diet, because I always drink diet, but I didn't find any in your fridge. If I was drinking my Diet Pepsi, which is the one I like, the aspartame in it has to be FDA approved, or the red dye in our foods, or the medications we take, because they come with side effects, and the FDA doesn't want us, here in the States anyway, to take anything that's harmful to us, and this is not something they have to step in because it's safe. The 5 herbs do have a little bit of a detoxifying property when you first start Protandim, and so some people may think that they're side effects, but not everybody experiences them, and they really aren't side effects, they're desired effects. I know I had mentioned to Mom before she started taking hers, it said one of the detoxifying properties I had read about, so people can have a little bit of diarrhea and then you cut it back to half a pill. And I told her, I says, but Mom, everybody I know, nobody's ever had it. And she said she didn't have it. So I asked her, did you have it? I'm trying to find one person that says they've had something. So far, I have not been lucky. But, you know, just so that people are aware, because that's a question that comes up. Is there any side effects? So going back to the survival genes, Protandim turns up your survival genes, and it turns down, and this is really important when you think of disease, it turns down the genes responsible for inflammation and fibrosis, okay? So my daughter Alyssa, for example, she's 8 and she has asthma, and we're giving her, because kids can take this, we're giving her a third of Protandim a day for her asthma, and her asthma has been fabulous. You know, it's the only thing she's done different other than her inhalers and other stuff she takes. That poor girl, she takes a bag full of stuff. but it works so well on inflammation. And 2 of the patents is to reduce inflammation. One of the patent is in, maybe this might mean something to you, probably not Dina, unless you've had a cardiac problem, is decreases CRP, C-reactive protein, and that's a big one of disease. And the last patent, which they're 25-year patents, protects the 5 ingredients in Protandim, which is important for the business side of the company, because you want to kind of protect if you're going to invest in a company as a distributor, or speaking of investment, they are publicly traded companies. So if you have not checked out the stock, it's kind of going up and down a little bit, but it's predicted long term that it's going to do really well. The antioxidant myth, that pamphlet I have there, supplements that work like a Dixie cup. Right now, the industry is a $36 billion industry, okay? And with Protandim, they know, yeah, it's him snoring.
I don't know, it might be the dog, I think it's the dog.
Oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
It's Delcy.
Delcy, I got her channel so she wouldn't bother everybody.
That's funny. So they know that there's a huge potential. The thing with the company though, and I'm going to tell you about the product after I tell you about the company here. The thing with the company though is nobody's heard of it. So if you go out in the street and you say to 100 people, hey, have you heard of Protandim? I know one, my friend introduced me to this, by the way. She's a nurse, and she lost her job during a time of recession. She was in pharmaceutical sales. So she had 2 part-time jobs trying to make up for half of the income she had in a job she lost. And she's the one who came across LifeVantage and said, hey, Cibele, will you check this out for me? Her husband's a financial advisor. He was checking out the financial side of the company. She wanted an opinion. And being that me and Patrick are in the medical field, we can sit there and read those scientific studies and understand it a lot better than the layperson and realize, oh my gosh, this is like the theory fits. This is huge. So they know they're going to probably be a $1 billion industry. And this is interesting. The vet industry right now is $80 billion, a lot more than the supplements.
Wow.
And they know that this works in mammals, so they're going to come out with a vet line this year. And you know how much money people spend on their pets. Oh my gosh. So
We need to get Moose on this.
yeah. And this is kind of interesting actually because
full-size
pill.
would. Dina's son has a St. Bernard that has his issues.
Well, speaking of pets, where I'm from in Indiana, a lot of Amish, of course, right? Amish country over there. The Amish have gotten a hold of Protandim, and they're giving it to their horses, and they're pulling the old horses out of retirement. So that's their way of living. So pretty big deal. But the funny thing is, I think the biggest business for the company in Indiana is the Amish, because it's vegan, 100% natural, and you know they can use it with their horses. It's huge there with the horses. And think about it, animals do not know placebo effect. You cannot give a pill to an animal, have them fake getting better. Yeah, they don't know it. So that's kind of neat. But anyway, with the company, they are in what's called the pioneering stage. And then companies, and this is they call the Peter Drucker curve of business. So this is for any businesses, regardless what model they follow between the business. They have the pioneering stage, they have the momentum, and they have the stabilization phase. So you said about the Mary Kay, you probably joined Mary Kay like right over here. That's why you make no money, and it's really, really hard, because you have to be a really, really good salesperson, because everybody can name 3 Mary Kay ladies they know, 5 Avon ladies, and so forth. I mean, you can think of all the stuff that we buy that's all direct marketing. But the company is down here. Right now they have about 40,000 distributors worldwide. And they're only open in the United States, Japan, Mexico. They're pre-launching in Australia. And Canada's not open yet. People can buy the product from a distributor, but there's no distributorship there yet. They probably will open in about 6 months. What they're doing in Canada is they have to go by province, and they're going through the Canadian FDA and getting approved through their FDA, because theirs works different than ours. So basically the company is down here. Now branding occurs right about here. So that's when you're going to go and ask people, have you heard of Protandim? And they're going to say, oh yeah, I've heard of that. So not there yet. So this is kind of like what somebody told me. It's like somebody gave you a lottery ticket. You're down here. The other thing that the Harvard Business School found through their study is that the first 180,000 distributors will make 80% of the money in a company. And initially when I found out about this for my friend, I immediately said, yes, I want to take it, no doubt about it. But I thought, well, I don't want to sell it, I never sold anything, but I do want my family on it. So I called my mom, first person I called. Mom, I got to tell you about something, I'm going to send you a video too. My mom calls me back and says, Cibele, we're taking this to Brazil. And I'm joining as a distributor with or without you. And then I'm going, wait a minute, Katie's my friend. I said, so I had to find out a little more about the business side of it, because up to that point, I was just going nursing, science. Me and my husband, a doctor and nurse, we're just thinking health, strictly health. But that's kind of the neat thing about this company is it's such a pioneering stage that one analogy I heard from somebody in my upline is it's kind of like if you're a fisherman, if you're going to fish up here, you got to be a really good fisherman to get some customers. But if you're going to fish down here, the fishers just hop on your boat because they're like, wait a minute. You know, I really want to try this. This is something at least worth me trying to see how it helps me or makes me feel. So that's kind of what the company is. And speaking of momentum, initially when 2005 that video came out, this company was retail. So you could go to CVS or GNC or anywhere and go and buy a bottle of Protandim if you wanted to. The problem is because it's sold as a supplement, it was sold at $59.95. Now, I don't know about you, but if I saw a bottle that cost $59.95 next to the one that costs $6, I'm not buying it. It's that simple. And so the company was run by scientists, as you saw, and they were trying to get it to move. And as the studies got picked up and kind of moved forward, so Louisiana State did a study with skin cancer, Ohio State did a study with the heart, Harvard and Massachusetts General and University of Colorado, they wanted muscular dystrophy and so forth. And as the studies got published, which was about 2009 when the studies were completed, so they're usually published a little bit later. And speaking of studies, I probably should clarify something with their studies. They're all peer-reviewed studies, and what that means is anybody can do a study on anything. I mean, you can go do a study on whatever you want and say studies have been done, right? But what's different about this, and that's kind of what turned me and Patrick onto this opportunity more than anything else, is that they're peer-reviewed. So if you go to reputable websites such as www.pubmed.gov or Medline, okay, not a layman's website. You want to go with something reputable if you're going to be taking it seriously. And you type in Protandim. Right now, there are 10 peer-reviewed studies. And what that means is, once the study's complete, it gets sent to a panel that you don't know who those people are. They're your peers. So they're going to be physicians, scientists, doctors, whatever. And their whole job is to disprove that study. Once that study cannot be disproved, it can be published as a peer-reviewed study in a reputable medical journal or scientific journal. Okay. Now, if you type in oxidative stress and PubMed, right now, you're going to find almost 98,000 studies, because that's how important this is to disease. And if you type NERV2 activator, which is what Protandim is, you're going to find, I believe the last time I checked was about 22,000 studies. So the scientific community is kind of moving fast with this. And you can even type oxidative stress and name the disease you're interested in, or NERV2 activation and depression, NERV2 activation, and you're going to see, and this is even kind of more neat to me because it's independent of Protandim. So that just kind of validates that something that is a NERV2 activator, like Protandim is, and how it works. So PubMed is really important for everybody to know. But anyway, going back to the company a little bit, the company story.
Are you going to touch on the glutathione?
Yeah, that's a very important one because we got I think Cathy has a video with Dr. Oz.
I do.
One of the studies
My mother loves Dr. Oz. Let me tell you.
One of the studies that we're
Dr. Oz says.
on Protandim a little bit later on too. This is more of a later study. Is that they found out that Protandim increases what's called glutathione by 300%. Okay. And we're going to play the video, it's 2 minutes. And then I'll tell you why that's important, because that's something you probably want to go look up a little bit.
I've heard her turn that pinging noise off, irritates crap.
Well,
Family revealing the most powerful antioxidant that you have never heard of. It's one of the keys to fighting off the diseases that you fear the most. It is called glutathione. Now write it down because it's critically important. And here to tell us about it is the director of Yale University's Prevention Research Center, and my good friend, Dr. David Cathy. David. Glutathione has been described in many places as the superhero of antioxidants. Now, why is that? How come no one's ever heard of it before?
Because unlike most antioxidants people think about getting in a supplement, this one the body makes. That's the reason people haven't heard about it. It's going on all the time. It's also the reason why it really is the most important antioxidant. It's the one that the body relies on itself to clean up critical toxins. So it's being manufactured all the time, and the body makes critical use of this to defend us against a variety of toxins.
Now, how do you know if you don't have enough glutathione in your body?
So the issue is this: if you have a chronic disease, most serious chronic diseases are associated with low levels of glutathione. So if you have diabetes, if you've been through cancer, if you're struggling with a serious infection, that may indicate that you're depleting your glutathione. May be worth checking your level, certainly worth doing things to bring your level back up. And then also, if you're chronically run down, if you're chronically fatigued, if your body just isn't firing on all cylinders, low glutathione may be part of it, both cause and effect. So you have to be sort of clued into how you're feeling and your general state of health.
You're at a big center, and people come to you all the time. When you give people glutathione, in whatever form you get it to them in, what happens to them?
So, in my clinic, we have a patient with Parkinson's who comes in weekly for an intravenous infusion of glutathione right into the vein, fairly high dose. And both we and the patient's neurologists are convinced that it has helped stabilize his condition.
How do you like that?
Hasn't cured it, hasn't made it go away, but it has helped prevent any further progression. And I think more and more we're going to see studies supporting that kind of application.
Okay. So notice he said his patient got an intravenous infusion of glutathione, right? Weekly. That's a lot of money, and you have to go back every week. So the interesting thing about Protandim is that through the nerve-2 pathway, it tells your cells, hey, remember, you can make your own glutathione. You don't need to take any. Just make your own. And one of the studies that showed after 120 days of taking Protandim, 300% increase in your glutathione. So if you went and you just Googled glutathione and whatever disease you're interested in, a lot comes up. I had Googled glutathione and autism, and the site that it actually led me to even explained it a little more, how glutathione plays a role in like renal failure, liver disease, smoking cessation, alcohol-related things, depression. A lot of mental stuff was on there. ADHD. It was a lot. So glutathione is huge, and there is some supplements out there that claim that they can increase the glutathione level. You can't just ingest glutathione because your body would break it down and get rid of it. You wouldn't be absorbed, you know. So some of the supplements that I've heard of is they have you ingest a precursor glutathione in hopes of when it gets into your body. But see, it's not telling your cell to make its own. It's still a supplement, just like what he said, the IV one. And the one thing that I was going to mention about Protandim, we said that glutathione would be very expensive. I don't know how much it is, but I'm going to find out because I know it's a lot.
We gave her other injections of when she had Parkinson's.
Yeah. Protandim costs $40 if you're a preferred customer, or $50 if you're a retail customer. The only way to get Protandim right now is through the LifeVantage website, which Cathy has one as a distributor. Because it used to be available though in retail and CVS and GNC before they went from a retail company to a direct marketing company, there are still some people that have it at Amazon or eBay, which is illegal. It's against the company policy. So basically they're trying to go after those distributors and pull them off and cancel their contract, and they're going to be out. For one reason, the company cannot guarantee that what they have in that bottle is even Protandim. I know the prenatal vitamins I used to take look exactly like Protandim, identical. I was even the same size, shape, color, everything. So don't buy it, and tell your friends, if you're going to tell them about Protandim, don't buy it from third party, because the company ships it directly to you, and if you want to change, make anything, you call the company directly. You actually talk to a person, you don't talk to automated message, which we all hate. So if you want to join as a preferred customer, that's the cheapest way. Preferred customers get it for the same cost as a distributor. So different than, like, for example, Mary Kay, right? So if you join as a preferred customer, you're gonna get it for the same price that me and Cathy are gonna buy. So that's the nice thing, you can deal directly with the company. The only thing with becoming a preferred customer is they set you up for an auto ship. And there's a reason why they do that. Because since you're dealing directly with the company, we don't carry any stock. So when you run out of Protandim, you're not gonna have to call Cathy and say, hey, can you run me a bottle tonight? Because I only have one pill. We don't have to do any of that. So the company puts you in auto ship just for convenience. But say you took it for a month and you're like, I don't want to take it anymore. You call them, you cancel, and you're done. There's no commitment, either from the customer or the distributor. So if Cathy and I wanted to get out of it, we could. We don't owe them anything. The company is so confident in what they have and where they're going to go that they're going to go there with or without us. So that's basically the first way to join. Retail, I don't recommend people join retail for 2 reasons. One, you're paying $10 more for something you can cancel anytime. 2, actually Cathy gets no credit if anybody goes retail. You're giving your money to the company, you're spending a little bit more money, and you're probably going to like it because most people feel so good when they try the Protandim. They have only 2 products, by the way, so we don't have a catalog or anything for you to look at. The second product is called True Science, which is that cream right there on the table. And True Science is the same ingredients of Protandim, plus a few more other ingredients for the collagen in your skin and all the anti-aging stuff. And that one is $70 for the preferred customer wholesale price and $85 for retail. So it works the same way as Protandim. The interesting thing about the cream, the True Science cream, is because of the properties of being an anti-inflammatory at the genes, at the genetic level, so your DNA. People that have acne, psoriasis, eczema, I mean I've had acne my whole life. My skin's never been good. It's the best it's ever been right now. It literally, though the company can't claim, it literally makes it go away. I'm going to tell you that right now. It disappears. Scars. Anything with fibrosis, because that's one of the things Protandim does, decreases fibrosis, so scars. I mean, it's gone. 1 bottle lasts you 2 months. So if all you're going to do is put it on your face, then I tell people, order as an auto ship and then call them and say, hey, don't send that to me every month. I don't want it. I want it every other month. And you don't need toners, you don't need any of that, just the cream. But the other reason why they came up with a cream is because they know that the skin is the largest organ in your body. So that makes a big difference. So they like to say like the Protandim is for the inside and the cream is for the outside. And I do like the cream a lot better than I ever anticipated. So about the company, they went to network marketing in 2010. That's when they pulled everything off of the retail. Okay, so that's the only way you can get it is through the website that Cathy, I'm sure, will give you. But what they came up with that was really neat, and this has just got released on March 1st, is you can join a company 1 of 3 ways. Either as a preferred customer, a distributor, and then this is how the 2 ways come. And as a distributor, you can join for $50, and it'll give you some marketing tools like those newspapers right there that you see. Or you can join with the Vantage Pack, which is $630. They also pay you with 6 bonuses, which I'm not going to explain all 6, but I just want you to know that there's 6 ways they pay us. When I joined as a distributor, I didn't know I got paid 6 ways. This is how silly I was. I mean, that's the nurse in me. I was joining solely for the health. So my friend Katie saying, Cibele, don't you want me to tell you how you get paid? And I'm like, yeah. So she starts going. I'm like, well, how do I know which one I should choose, Katie? There's 6 things I should choose from. She goes, Cibele, you get paid all 6 ways. I'm like, really? Okay. So when you join this Vantage Pack, you actually get $535 of product, which is 12 bottles of Protandim and 1 bottle of True Science. You also get $95 of marketing materials for you to get your business started. This is a home-based business expense, so this can be deducted to save your receipt, pretty much. The other thing is, especially if you've been Mary Kay, you know that they kind of require that you have a monthly volume, right, that you maintain. The company did something kind of smart. They recommend, it's actually not required, but they recommend that distributors maintain a $200 personal volume per month. But this is what they did. You are only required to order $40 or your bottle of Protandim a month. Because the company truly feels that if you're going to sell Protandim, you should be on it. Or else don't sell it. Right? Don't sell. Get out of here. You have to be a believer. So how are you going to get the other money? Well, if your mom joins and your neighbor and your best friend, and then you want to buy a bottle for your husband. There you go. So your initial investment into, it's going to be $1 billion or more company, is plus tax, shipping, and handling, so I'm going to round it up. I think here in Michigan is like $658. So initial investment to the company is $658, which I gave myself a goal of making back in 6 months. I made my money back in less than a month. It really surprised me. I never expected it. Since I didn't know I got paid, that really did shock me. And then my 200 PV, me and Patrick, we do each order our Protandim, and then we order our cream, which we share, because one cream.
Patrick uses the cream too, because we have problems with our
Yes.
skin cancer, like
Yeah, and then there's a study
cancerous.
with the cream and skin cancer, actually. And actually, that's the one that's printed over there. So then I thought, oh, I just gotta find, one or two more people. Oh my gosh! I talked to my boss. She went home and ordered her husband and her this much. Okay, that was it. We were already above 200, easy. My personal volume a month, Kathy, believe it or not, it's over $1,000 right now. And I've only told like, I don't know, 7 people. Not that many. It's quite amazing. But they have, like I mentioned, as of March 1st, a preferred customer referral, which I understand Dina and you guys in the office were kind of going around with that. Referral.
The preferred customer program became quite popular at the office.
Yes. Referral, and then they have a retention. Okay. The retention is after you've been on a monthly auto ship for 6 months, so say you're ordering Protandim, on your 7th month you're going to get a bottle of True Science for free. If you've been on a 6-month auto ship with True Science, on your 7th month you're going to get a bottle of Protandim. If you've been ordering both, on your 7th month they're going to give you an extra bottle of Protandim. So that's the retention program they have. That's kind of neat. The referral program, what they do is, if you don't want to be a distributor, but I'm going to tell you, just like Cathy said in the beginning, because Cathy at first was like, oh, I'm just going to do it because I trust you, really. That's it. Quit calling me.
She kept telling me you're going to be left behind.
I said, I'll try it. And then she liked it, and she wanted to tell people. I'm like, Cathy, if you're going to tell people about it, just join as a distributor. Trust me on this one. Okay, fine.
Or I thought, well, this will at least, maybe I'll get enough people to try it to cover the cost of my monthly bottle.
Yeah. That was really
You start out small, and
Well,
then
you
all
do
of a sudden you see the potential as you learn more about it.
And the neat thing about the company is the way they structure themselves. I'm not in competition with Cathy, and I'm not in competition with like my friend Katie. We're all on the same team. So Cathy has already talked to a lot of people in their upline that said, hey, I'll drive to Detroit and do meetings for you or anybody you recruit. Because that's, everybody benefits, because it's a group volume that you add to. But the referral program is really neat. So if you refer someone to try Protandim, so say Dina goes home and she tells her neighbor. And then the neighbor, Dina's going to get 25% off her next auto ship order because a neighbor ordered Protandim. So that's $10 for each Protandim that your referral orders, and $17.50 if your referral orders the cream, up to $120 per month. So if all your goal is to get the product for free, you could do that. I mean, that's not a problem. And again, they go to the company website and order it, and that's it. So that's basically the referral program. The interesting thing is Cathy still gets credit for the sale. She still gets the volume. And I'll tell you a couple of the bonuses they have. I'm not going to say all 6.
Is that temporarily, did you say, that referral thing?
Well, if you're right here and you get one person to order under you, right, you're going to get the $10. But that's $10 in your next auto ship. So if in the next month you want to get another $10, you got to tell somebody else. And that's why I'm saying if you're going to do that, you might as well become a distributor. Because why go through all that work for $10? I mean, really. Because, let me show you. If you're a distributor, when somebody orders one bottle of Protandim from your website at $40, the next week you get a check for 30% of that sale, which for one bottle of Protandim is $12. But what if they order a bottle of Protandim, a bottle of cream? That's $110. You're going to get 30% of that the next week. See, it's more worth it if you're going to tell people to join as a distributor. That's just one way. Another way that you get paid that I have no idea, but now I've learned, is if you tell someone and someone says, no, I want to be a distributor too. So let me tell you about my example. So here's me. I told my mom. I told you that already. And my mom did join as distributor. And she told me, I give you till tomorrow, and if you don't join, I'm joining without you. She joined. She lives half of the year in Florida, half of the year in Kalamazoo, Michigan. told my neighbor who had a heart attack at age 44. Now, she's got a neat story. She went and told her cardiologist about Protandim. Most doctors have never heard of it. And the reason why is because here in the U.S., the pharmaceutical sales model is the pharmaceutical rep goes to the doctor's offices, feeds them the information, right? Gives them samples and leave. There's no such thing with this company. So doctors, and interesting enough, doctors are the fastest growing group of distributors in this company. What company do you know the physicians join as distributors? I've never heard of any. Cardiologists are the #1 enrollers in the country right now for Protandim because they understand the science. So my neighbor Rhonda Pinson is her name, went to her cardiologist and said, hey, my neighbor Cibele told me I should be taking this Protandim, I'm taking it. And she goes, this is her. I'm not asking for your permission, I'm just informing you.
That's Rhonda.
Yeah, that's Rhonda. And he goes, what'd you say it was? And she goes, Protandim. And he goes, I just came back from an international cardiology convention in Japan, and it was mentioned there.
Wow.
And she's like, wow. He goes, no, you should be honest. So Rhonda is my second distributor. Now, the company gives you $210 the next week for each distributor that signs up under you for the first 3. My third distributor is Cathy. Okay, so all family and people I love and trust, and my neighbor. Go figure, now I have a 4th distributor. Patrick's friend from hockey. He sells Coca-Cola. And he said, this is going to sell Coca-Cola. Why wouldn't I join? So Jeff Golada is my number 4. Now, from the 4th distributor on, they give you a raise. $260 the following week to infinity. So however many people join under me, I get a bonus.
Now, do you get a part of their sales?
All of it. Whatever the personal volume each one of the people under me get, I get it as a group volume. So, company has 10 levels, Pro 1 through Pro 10, and it is solely based on volume, okay? A Pro 1 has $1,000 of volume per month, whether it's me selling it or my group, okay? The Pro 10 has $1 million per month. There are only 5 Pro 10s in the company right now. I thought, it's going to take me forever to get through these pros. Right now, a Pro 3, this is my 3rd month doing it. I became a Pro 1 in my 1st month, a Pro 2 in my 2nd month, and a Pro 3 in my 3rd month. And it wasn't because of me. It was because of Rhonda and my mom and everybody blabbing. And getting their friends and family to take it and try it. So Pro 3 actually has to have 5,000 volume per month. Okay. And that's important because you get compensated differently as you move up the levels, obviously.
When you look at an opportunity like